Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're taking a look at the small box game Samara by Tasty Minstrel.
Samara does a good job of packing a lot of game in a little box. It's definitely a unique worker placement, to say the least. It's run on a calendar where you'll be sending your people out to do things, and everything you do takes time. So if you want to build a house, you have to have the tools to do it, and you have to spend a certain amount of time depending on where it is on the track, which is all randomized. If you want to make tools, you have to go to certain spots and spend time to do it. So I'm like, okay, it's my turn. I'm going to move all the way to May, and I'm going to make a trowel. I'm going to put this on my player board, and now I have a trowel to use for building. And once everybody in the current month has taken their actions, the calendar shifts down to the next month with players on it, and then we take more action. So it's like this constant rolling of actions, and it's not a normal worker placement game where I take an action, you take an action, he takes an action. We go around until everybody's taken all their actions, and then we wipe the board and reset. It's a very...
Calling it a worker placement game, I'd say it's actually a lot closer to a rondel game, where you have the circle and you can move as far around the circle as you want, like Heaven and Ale or Raids or Merlin, something like that. It does have a bit of a worker placement-y feel because you have a certain amount of these are kind of like workers. You have an amount of them. They have a strength, and this isn't the thing that rotates around. It's like, it almost kind of is like this part rotates around a little bit because as you move, this thing goes away.
You could be shifting this the entire time.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, but it does. I do think it feels more like a rondel. It's a mix between a rondel and a worker placement, but closer to a rondel game, if that term means anything to you.
The gameplay is really quick. Whenever it is your turn, you just move a certain amount of months forward and take the thing that you want, if it's a building or the actual tool. And the buildings that are really easy to make don't offer a lot of points. The ones that are harder to make, they usually offer more points, and sometimes they require you to consume one of the tools and put it back onto the board, which is a lot different than all the other ones. Most of the medium point ones, they just require that you have a tool, you build that thing, and once you build it, it goes on your board and you score those points. The game goes on and on until every building in the town has been built, so that it kind of becomes an engine at the end where like everybody's like, okay, I've got all the tools, I'm just moving forward, as little as I can to score the most points as I can, and it just churns out. The biggest thing is you need to either get an extra worker by sending a woman as far forward as you can. She just go forward like 9 months to the next pink slot, and once she does that, she'll have a baby, which gives you another worker, or you can train up one of either your man or your woman and go to a weight room and work them out so they get stronger. You attach another meeple to them, and they become a 2-strength worker, so they can take from, because there's actually these rows, and the first row you only need 1 worker. The second row, you need either 2 workers or a 2-strength worker. And the top row, you need a really, really strong worker, or you're going to have to move all of your meeples at once.
Yeah, you just need, imagine you need 4 strength of worker.
Yeah.
Be that 2 2s, 4 1s.
Yeah.
And you can have more strength. If I put a 3-strength worker here, I can still grab this 2 right here if I want. And that is a pretty big part. Like, I feel like if the first thing I'm going to do is going to get tools and upgrade my workers, and then there'll be another guy, somebody else who goes, okay, well then I'm just going to grab all the 1s and go and do it late and grab those tools and upgrade my workers later. But then, because it's not these ones are more valuable. It's not these are level 1s, these are level 2s, these are level 3s. They're all randomized. So, if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to get all the tools and get all my workers, get my engine set, and then go pick stuff up, you kind of still have to pick stuff up along the way because a lot of stuff may be gone and not just the easy stuff.
A couple of the rooms actually give you special abilities. If you get the university? I don't even see it's all covered up right now. Here it is. The university, it allows you to use 1 tool as any other tool. So if you can get this early game, you can have 1 less of each tool in a way, as long as you're not required to have all 6 tools, you can kind of like be like, oh, I'm gonna use this trowel as a saw, or I'm gonna use this saw as a glass cutter, and it definitely having these couple that give you these unique abilities can make your workers more efficient.
What this game has going for it is the fact that it's a small box, it's travel size, and it's really light, and it's quick. Other than that, like, I would definitely play this game, like, on a trip. If Aaron and I went to wherever.
Bahamas.
And we're in the Bahamas. And I'm like, oh, well, I wish I brought a game. I didn't think about that. And Aaron's like, well, I have Samara here in my bag. I'd be like, okay, cool. Other than that, I thought this game was just okay. Like, it's not a bad game. It's not poorly designed. It's not broken. It's just kind of like okay. There are other games that I would rather play.
It kind of has a dry theme, or like a dry play style. I don't know, but like it looks really cool. It's really bright. It's really vibrant. It has cool meeples. It has the stuff that TMG does well. Like it looks like a TMG game to me, but the gameplay is kind of repetitive of just like, okay, I'm gonna move forward, get something, and then wait my turn to go again. It's like this is just like it's a constant wait for things.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes you think about what you need to do when, because you're like, okay, should I go get this 3-point hut that happens to be way down here in November? Like, do I need to go all the way there and get that? Because it requires no tools, or should I start collecting tools now and use those tools to make other things? Because like 3 points for no tools is a really good it's really quick, easy points. Yeah. Like you need a trowel to make this one that's worth 4 points, so it's like, okay, well, that's gonna take me an action to get the trowel, and then wait until that trowel is actually finished being made, and I get back to the current, and I can now make that building. And it's kind of like a race, and you got to kind of just figure out.
It's an efficiency race, yeah.
Yeah. You need to become efficient, and you need to do it quicker than everybody else, because once somebody has all of the tools and they have enough strength to just like, okay, I'm going to move 1 month, I'm going to build this thing, and shifts over, I move 1 month, build this other thing. Like, people can, you can kind of run away with it if everybody else didn't prepare as well as you did.
Yeah, it's not a mindless game. It's not easy by any stretch. It's just, for me, I felt like, especially, at this day and age in games, how many games I've played and all that kind of stuff, I'm looking at this and I go, okay. And I don't want to trash on it, but my overall thoughts on this game is just okay.
So if you're looking for a fairly quick worker rondelle style game, it's worker placements, rondelle, whatever, and you're looking for something that, doesn't take up all the room on your shelf, if you like TMG, if you like
colors,
the designer, Corny Van Morsel.
Ooh, that you butchered that. If you like Easter colored meeples, because the pink, purple, red, and green, that's like you really don't get those color choices in any other game. That's pretty cool.
So it definitely has some uniqueness with that calendar moving and like trying to figure out when's the best time to do something. So if you want to try this out, if you want to pick yourself up a copy, we'll have a link in the description box down below.
And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you will never be bored.
It definitely has some uniqueness with that, the
rondelle.
I know, but I want to say, which is just the calendar.